our studio in Newport Beach, California. Welcome to another edition of the ChabDog Sports Talk Radio Show. Sometimes scattered, but always edgy. We're an authentic take on sports talk. Rated R. ChabDog brings you Eric, the Well-Read, Frank, the Tank, Brian from Sports Rock, and special guests. We're here to talk sports. We're here to rant and vent. We're here to take it up another notch. Now here's your host, ChabDog. And good morning and welcome to the ChabDog Sports Talk Radio Show. This is not ChabDog. This is Eric the Well-Read sitting in for ChabDog, who's off on his annual August vacation. Oh, get rid of that noise from out there. He's not in Canada, or not back east as he normally would be in Massachusetts this year, but he is spending time with his son. We'll speak on that further. And you are listening to the ChabDog Sports Talk Radio Show, brought to you by the law offices of Brandon S. Chabner, business attorney and corporate counsel. And his office also provides family trusts. In fact, if you've ever done a family trust, you've ever contemplated one, how much did you pay for yours? How much do these things cost? For instance, a family trust, will, power of attorney, and healthcare directive. Oh, you ask most people, they're going to say $2,000, $2,500 starting and up, and that's about the going rate. Well, the ChabDog Law Offices, it's got a deal for you. It'll give you the friends and family rate. For most cases, just give ChabDog $400 down and $100 a month for 12 months. $1,600, he'll carry the financing. Just $400 down, $100 a month, and he'll get you a family trust, will, power of attorney, and healthcare directive. He'll get you all set up so you and your family won't have to pay that expensive probate. So you and your family, well, your heirs will get what they deserve. Okay, so this is Eric the Well-Read sitting in for the ChabDog on August the 9th. And boy, what a week we've had, what a month we've had, what a year we've had so far. In fact, I wanted to sit back and share a little something here with you. This is Easy Does It from Supertramp from the Crisis What Crisis LP. And this little ditty in here has a jewel of a lyric. And if you know who you are your own superstar, and only you can shape the movie that you make. Let's dream on this for a moment.
And if my thoughts had wings, I'd be the bird that sings. I'd fly where love isn't shy, and everyone's willing to try. And if we had the time, and time's so hard to find, I could believe what you say, start sending those shadows away. And if you know who you are your own superstar, and only you can shape the movie that you made. So when the lights disappear and only the silence is near, watch yourself, easy does it easy while you wait. And if you know who you are your own superstar, and only you can shape the music that you make. So when the crowds disappear and only the silence is here, well, watch yourself, easy does it does it easy while you wait.
Yeah, there we go. Easy does it. Let's have an easy does it Sunday here. We've had a tough week here. Let's talk a little bit about the NBA. In fact, let me read you. Let's everyone sit down and form a little circle here around me, and let's read up a little bit here. And this is from ESPN, the good old ESPN website. And this is a story they wrote and released back on July 29th, and it's been quickly forgotten, not mentioned anywhere else. And it's about the NBA, and it's about their wonderful training academies over in China. And here's a quote from the article here. American coaches at 3 NBA training academies in China told league officials their Chinese partners were physically abusing young players and failing to provide schooling, even though Commissioner Adam Silver had said that education would be central to the program. The NBA ran into a myriad of problems by opening one of the academies in Xinjiang, a police state in western China, where more than 1 million Uyghur Muslims are now held in barbed wire camps. And American coaches were frequently harassed and surveyed in Xinjiang, the sources said. One American coach was detained 3 times without cause, and he and others were unable to attain housing because of their status as foreigners. This is why is this not being talked about? Why is this not being covered? Why is this being just basically swept under the rug? You know, last October, Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey's tweet in support of pro-democracy protests led the Chinese government to pull the NBA from state television, costing the league hundreds of millions of dollars. The controversy continues to reverberate as the NBA prepares to resume play this week, which was last week, after its 4.5-month hiatus. Central China TV says it still won't air the NBA games. Okay, so there now we see it, and the NBA, they're getting, I think it's going to come up here in the article here, about $4 billion, or they've had since this relationship here. Yeah, the program launched in 2016 as part of the NBA's strategy to develop local players in a basketball-obsessed market that has made NBA China a $5 billion enterprise. Most of the former employees spoke on condition of anonymity, of course. One American coach who worked for the NBA in China described the project as a sweat camp for athletes. One requested and received a transfer after watching Chinese coaches strike teenage players, 3 sources told ESPN. Another American coach left before the end of his contract because he found the lack of education in the academies unconscionable. Quote, I couldn't continue to show up every day looking at these kids and knowing they would end up being taxi drivers, he said. I mean, it's absurd. What absurd? We're being told one thing when really, in reality, another thing is happening. There's reports. I mean, the article goes on. It details violence against players in the academies. It goes on that the kids were getting no education whatsoever. And let me tell you, from the Chinese side, as having worked in China before, there are a lot of criminal elements over there. And so it wouldn't, and a lot of kickbacks are normal. I've had kickbacks, money that I put over there, invested for business purposes with governments for one purpose that was then just taken without any consideration whatsoever and used for other purposes that were completely, for instance, I had a mayor buy himself a new car when I made a deposit on a mining property that I was supposed to get back. Never saw that money again, but I hope he enjoyed his new car. Crazy. So they're all taking kickbacks on this. That $5 billion, a lot of that $5 billion there, it's not all going to the NBA. It's lining the pockets of their Chinese partners. It's lining a lot of their pockets over there. And it was a nice little deal until, that comments there by the Houston Rockets regarding Hong Kong. And that's where I want to take it up here. That, okay, Black Lives Matter, wonderful. You are a majority black American team, so, okay. I mean, if you want to put that image out there, that's fine. But then what about Hong Kong? What about you're doing business with a decrepit government over in China, and you won't say anything about them whatsoever, and yet you'll criticize the United States, you'll criticize us, you'll criticize your home country. Dudes, you are U.S. citizens. You are born here. Most of you, you'll credit players of the NBA, you will criticize our country and our freedoms for our failings and be completely silent with the Chinese. Yeah, you know what? That doesn't work in my books. And the NBA is suffering. They are losing viewership. In fact, today golf will draw more viewers, and yesterday golf did draw more viewers than the NBA by a wide margin. And I'm not watching. I have no desire to watch. I think Black Lives, you're blurring the lines here. The NBA is either complicit with the Marxists who actually run that organization. Black Lives Matter, which is against the organization itself, is against families. It's against the nuclear family. It's against capitalism. It's against a lot of things that have nothing to do with the value and the consideration and the pause that we as a society should and are taking to value black lives. The 12.7% of us in America who are African Americans. Yeah, we're watching. But we're also seeing this movement here, which has now blurred the lines, and the NBA allowing the lines to continue to be blurred here. And LeBron James and his crew, everyone wearing their shirts and kneeling and stuff. Hey, you're okay, fine. If your business is doing business in China and alienating people in the United States, then you have succeeded. You have succeeded, Mr. Silver. Good for you. Here's a little clip here. This is from 26. So back in the days when things were normal. Here's something from July 12th, 2016.
The Major League Baseball All-Star Game. A celebration of America's pastime. I feel supernatural. Bring it on. All-Star Game. It's gone. Bring it on. Yeah. The best in baseball have gathered here. Supernatural. Angie. Gone.
The MLB All-Star Game, July 12th on Fox.
Hair trigger there. On July 12th on Fox. Boy, I mean, for as much as I hate Joe Buck, it's just nice hearing his voice in a normal time. I wish we could go back to those times. I wish I could just go back to listening to Joe Buck and complaining about him as the biggest beef I had. On to other news this week. And you're listening to the ChabDog Sports Talk Radio Show. This is Eric the Well-Read sitting in for ChabDog. We've got Frank Fleming from New Jersey coming up here in a little later in the show, plus Brian from Sports Rock will be calling in from Banning and hopefully giving us a report on a diminished fire over there. Coming up today, we'll be covering Bill Clinton talk a little later as well. I want to cover a bit about censorship and on Facebook and Twitter, and their current being brought up by the a relatively inept departments of our U.S. government. Joe Biden was he talking about a cognitive test or a cocaine test this week? I think he might have been talking about both. And of course, Tank himself, he's not. His weight gain has slowed, so we've got lots to cover here coming up here. Plus the NBA, plus MLB, plus thank goodness some hockey. The good old hockey games are back. But I'm going to swing over here to something. Something that happens to all of us that will have a falling out. Maybe it's with a partner, or a wife, or an ex-wife, or a friend for many years that you've just kind of, something broke your friendship. After 25 or 30 years, something came up and just smashed it. And the ruins that comes from that. And then the getting over that. This is John Brion, a local here from West Hollywood, with a song called Ruin My Day. And the lyric that stands out for me is, for people that you've gotten over, but still kind of wiggle in your mind and your memory when you think of them, that make you squirm. I don't wait by the phone like I used to. I don't hope for the kind words you might say. You don't pray in my mind like you used to. But you can still ruin my day. Maybe that even, this is good to mix in with the NBA here. Yeah, I used to be really up with the NBA and watching a lot of the games and watching a lot of the players and being involved. But now they just ruined my day. Yeah, check this out, John Brion.
So I guess you could say one recovers. Thought you should call me, but then after all we can still ruin my day. You're telling me now you regret how we never connected. Oh, as if you forget that it's me you regret you rejected. I don't easily forgive like I used to, and I seldom get carried away. No, you don't have the pull that you used to, but you can still ruin my day. Oh, you can still ruin my day. Love, it was lovely, it hardly hurt a bit. Sounds good to me, but unfortunately I remember it. Now I don't lose my place like I used to. I'm not moved by your artful display. No, you can't draw me in like you used to, but you can still ruin my day. 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 I say you can still ruin my day.
And that's Ruin My Day by John Brion on the ChabDog Sports Talk Radio Show Sunday edition with Eric the Well Red sitting in for the ChabDog, who's spending some time with his son Benjamin. In fact, Benjamin's getting ready to head off as a freshman to the University of Alabama. And so I got a little going away present for him here today. Here are things that Bama fans say.
Roll Tide. Roll Tide. Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
Why would anyone want to go to Auburn? Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Do they not want to win a championship?
A
Like,
one-loss Bama team still goes to the playoffs. We could put the 2016 one right here. A two-loss Bama team should go to the playoffs. I don't know what we're going to do for 2017.
Daniel Tosh does look like Lane Kiffin.
Lane may be the best offensive coordinator. What is Lane Kiffin doing?
Run the ball.
Another bubble screen?
I hate Lane Kiffin.
We lose tomorrow, I'm not going to class. We lose tonight, not going to Innisfree. If we lose this game, I'm not going to church.
Does Auburn even have a defensive coordinator?
Run the ball.
I'd never date a Barner.
I don't like farm animals either.
I don't care if we won by 30. It didn't look that good. No. JK is a beast.
He averaged 45 yards a punt.
Why do you know that?
Does a punter ever win a Heisman?
He could be the first. I just hate Tennessee. I'm naming my son Saban. They're low down.
How about Bear?
They dirty. Middle name. They some snitches. Pretty sure we could beat the Cleveland Browns.
Roll Tide.
Bear Bryant or Nick Saban. I don't care about bowl games.
I'm gonna go with Bear.
If it's not the national championship, I don't care.
Gotta be Saban. It's harder to win today.
Why do they say we're eagle when the mascot's a tiger?
Can you imagine if we played in the East? Do you expect logic? Roll Tide. Over here getting their trees burned down. The heck?
Dang. They just have no luck with that tree.
Saban's going to coach for at least 10 more years. Run the ball. He's never going to Texas. Do you hate Tennessee or LSU more? Kentucky has basketball. What does Auburn have?
Swimming.
Roll Tide.
But nobody cares about that.
I'm so mad Dixieland Delight got banned.
I was there, though, in 2014, the Iron Bowl. It was lit. Tennessee will never be back. How do we have so much depth and we don't have one good kicker? Sucks when all these national championships, you gotta buy a new championship shirt.
I know.
Have you seen AJ McCarron's Jesus tattoo?
I have like 15 shirts I can't even wear.
Never do that. There's never going to be another time in history that's like this. I just feel bad when the other teams come in town. It's like they're trying, but like we've won so much. Like, I don't know. Our school doesn't compare.
Why don't we run the ball, though? It's 3rd and 1. Why don't we...
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Auburn needs Jesus, man.
They need Brandon Chicken is who they...
I'm a grown.
Brandon Chicken. Roll Tide. Yeah, I remember once I was working in Colorado Springs, and there was a bar there that was it was actually a local bar in Colorado Springs that was for the Green Bay Packers and Alabama. And one of the guys in the bar, a regular there, was from Alabama too, and he taught me that when you're there, every time you finish a sentence, you finish it with Roll Tide. So you'd say, for instance, say, do you know where the gas station is? Roll Tide. Yeah, it's down the street 4 blocks and on the left. Roll Tide, etc., etc. I thought it was a rather cute mannerism here. But what's your name?
What's your name?
Fuck you! That's my name. You know why, mister? Because you drove a Hyundai to get here tonight. I drove an $80,000 BMW. That's my name.
That's the great Alex Baldwin from Glengarry Glen Ross. The stage production turned into a movie in the early 1992, early 90s. There you go. Keeping with our musical theme today, I'm going to play a little Elliott Smith. This is Baby Britain. I like this song because it's okay. One, it's new. Okay, let's time out for a second before I play this. I just want to recap here the music scene. Today you turn on a radio and all you hear is music from 40 years ago. It's like, this is the music I grew up with. And there's no new music on the radio. But there are people making new music, and the tunes are very listenable. And I'll put forward this song, Baby Britain. It's a relatively recent song, from this decade anyway, by Elliott Smith, a musician you probably never heard of. And it's got a catchy beat to it. It's got catchy lyrics. Judge it for yourself.
Baby Britain feels the best, floating over a sea of vodka, separated from the rest, fights problems with bigger problems, sees the ocean fall and rise, counts the waves that somehow didn't hit her, water pouring from her eyes, alcoholic and very bitter. For someone half as smart, you'd be a work of art. You put yourself apart, now can't help until you start. We knocked another couple back, the dead soldiers lined up on the table, still prepared for an attack. They didn't know they'd been disabled, felt a wave of Russian blood. You won't be happy till the bottle's broken, you're out swimming in the flood. You kept back, you kept unspoken. For someone half as smart, you'd be a work of art. You put yourself apart, now can't help you until you start. You got a look in your eye when you're saying goodbye, like you wanna say The light was on, but it was dim. Revolver's been turned over, and now it's ready once again. The radio was playing Crimson and Clover. London Bridge is safe and sound, no matter what you keep repeating. Nothing's gonna drag me down to a death that's not worth cheating for. Someone half as smart, you'd be a work of art. You put yourself apart,
Baby Britain by Elliott Smith here on the ChabDog Sports Talk Radio Show. Don't ask me why it's called Baby Britain. I didn't hear any reference to that in there whatsoever. But hey, catchy lyrics, aren't they? Yeah, singing about their dead. Yeah, we knocked another couple back. The dead soldiers lined up on the table, still prepared for an attack. Hey, I thought that was pretty clever. This is Eric the Well-Read sitting in for ChabDog here on the ChabDog Sports Talk Radio Show. And our next topic of discussion here is Facebook and Twitter. They got hauled into Washington last week, and their CEOs had to account, and it was pretty softball. But I want to go dig a little bit more beneath the surface. If you've ever had experience with these Facebook and Twitter, you may have experienced it yourself, as I have, or heard someone talk about it, as you're about to hear from me, that there is censorship going on these networks, that certain ideas are being blocked, or, just for instance, you can put out a Facebook post, but if it's about something they won't like, you'll check the views on it, and you might have 4 or 5 views. If you send it out, with a puppy or a kitten on it, it'll have 100 or 200 or a lot more. It's very easy to see certain things are being promoted and others. Outside of the actual, Twitter will block your account or take stuff down, as it did to the president this week. So that's censorship. And so I want to suggest to you, well, hold on a second. Let's go back to another time. Let's go back to the 20th century. Now, we didn't have all this kind of communication back then. In fact, if you wanted to talk to somebody else other than by voice, you had to pick up a phone. So I pick up the phone, AT&T, Ma Bell, whomever, and I call somebody, and that person picks up, and let's say we talk about conducting a bank robbery together. Is AT&T, is the phone company liable because of that discussion? No, they're not, because they were given protection under the Act, saying that you won't be held, if crimes are committed over your phone lines, you won't be held responsible for it because you had no control over what those phone lines are being used for. 99.9% of the time they're being used for good purposes, but for those times when they're not, you won't be held responsible. Well, people, isn't this the same? Isn't it what we're experiencing with Twitter? Isn't Twitter and Facebook the 21st century way that we communicate with other people? And if so, shouldn't they have the same protection the phone company have, and we have the same protection that we can say whatever we want, including illegal things, including, heaven forbid, thinking and expressing a forbidden thought? Hello? It's insane. Maybe our thinking just hasn't caught up. I'm going to make a prediction here that this is where our thought is evolving too, that in as a society and in the coming days and weeks and months and years, that we will reform our 21st Century Telecommunications Act to include Facebook and Twitter, and that they cannot, since they're not being held liable, they and their algorithms cannot suppress our thoughts or block our communications, regardless of them being accurate or right or correct or otherwise. And for those of you out there saying, "Oh, well, Eric the Well-Read, the telephone's a lot different. You reach so many more people on Twitter and Facebook." And I say, wait a minute. No, you don't. You only get to reach the people you want to reach. The people, on my feed, I got the thing throttled. I don't see stuff from everybody. On Facebook, the same way. I only get stuff I like. And if I have somebody there and they send too much BS, they're gone. I either mute them or I just unfriend them and get rid of them. So we control what we see. So all this talk, you're going to be white separatists or whatever, or, heaven forbid, Black Panthers. They should be able to communicate with other Black Panthers. And if they want to plan nefarious schemes, it's the telephone line, guys. It's the 20th century version of it. They should have the freedom to do that. None of that should be suppressed. But right now we've got a real dog's breakfast in terms of what's suppressed and what's not, and crazy stuff. But here's lyrics born from hearkening back to the time we used to have telephone banking.
Man, I hope this motherfucking check clear.
Been there, done that.
Good afternoon. Welcome to U.S. Bank. Para español, oprima número 3 en este momento. To access your account for balances, account activity, please enter your 7-digit checking or savings account number. please enter the last 3 digits of your social conformity number.
Okay.
Please hold while we access your account.
Sure.
You're an asshole.
What?
I can't believe you're holding for so long.
Whoa.
You're an asshole.
Oh, hell.
Thank you for waiting.
Yeah.
Your savings account balance is... Whoa. You have no fucking money.
What?
You have no fucking money.
Wow.
We're sorry. Goodbye.
Fuck.
Ever had one of those days? This is the ChabDog Sports Talk Radio Show, and the ChabDog Sports Talk Radio Show is brought to you by the law offices of Brandon S. Chabner, business attorney and corporate counsel, also specialist in family trusts, wills, powers of attorney, and healthcare directives. Give us a call. Check us out. Well, just click the link. Well, yes. Telephone banking had its day and had its problems and had its issues, but...
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not. I am reminded so much of Apocalypse Now, a wonderful film. Francis Ford Coppola, Martin Sheen, and the beginning of it, where Willard is in that room, that hotel room in Saigon, and looking out through the blinds there as he hears the choppers overhead, being woken up from a hangover, from drinking Lord knows what over there while he's waiting, stuck in that room. Just a one-room hotel, cheap hotel, probably was all I had back then. It reminds me of this from a song called Mission. And I say it's, if you were describing what Willard went through, you'd say it's every day I stay in this room. I feel the walls close in and slowly entomb my soul between scenes of a bizarre film noir, an endless comedy of terrors. N'est-ce pas?
Waiting for a mission. Still only in Lyon. Every day that I stay in this room, I feel walls close in and slowly into my soul between scenes of bizarre film noir and endless comedy of terrors. N'est-ce pas? Everybody gets everything that they wanted. I wanted a mission and I wasn't disappointed, and it's merely the soundtrack of that condition. Waiting on a mission, back at the flat, highlight on and I face junk mail and crowd on the screen. I tap a race, I retrace my steps to the bar for a beer. It takes me to another night, I don't remember, don't care how I got home to my hotel cell. It's a chamber where I'm sent to dwell between tours until I'm a peak condition, waiting for a mission. And when it's done, son, send me another one. And when it's done, son, send me another one. Only solution, send me another one. And when it's done, bring it on! Do I have to dumb down my delivery and sound surrounded by some clowns, inevitably foundly drowned in bling bling and ignorant thinking? No wonder I pick up my beer, started drinking, and the sinking spare the hopeless idea. Bring on the engineer to come and build the will to fulfill my vision. I'm still waiting on a mission. Street truck reverse, I hear the beep beep. Doesn't mind you over, that's where I sleep. Smell the diesel and there's something little more. As it hits a hydraulic door as a party hardcore before my bunk becomes a bed as my bust is 90 plus. Back home, I can't adjust between scenes. It's a mean condition, waiting for the mission. And when it's done, son, send me another one. And when it's done, son, send me another one. Only solution, send me another one. And when it's done, collect the file, shake the style, set the dial for the trial. Load the lyrics, sweat a while. Living for lyrics, and these lyrics for the life. To order change of the range on my hard drive. So much flipping on a prosper. Stick to living it live, surviving on a roster. Keeping it real, one more, however broad. So sure, go on and ask for, couldn't ask for more. heard your name on a track way back. Is that a fact? Cause you buckled them fucked up and me, it never crack. They say you lead, but when all said and done, son, I recall around before your time begun. Your style stolen, you fly boys rolling, you steal what's real, cause I can feel them down rolling. Rolling all the values of the real MC, and they come to the microphone, but you don't battle with me. Don't digress up on the facts of the matter. Most crews know dudes, you never see no real rapper. A lot of time on a tour bus, don't cost mamas on PlayStation, mama don't fuss. Too late to debate the state and recognition. Waiting for the nation. Send me another one. And when it's done, son, send me another one. Bring it on. Send me another one. Send me another one. Send me another one. Waiting for a mission. Every day that I stay in this room, I feel the walls close in. Send me another one. Between the scenes of bizarre film noir, a comedy of terrors. Send me another one. Everybody gets everything that they wanted. I wanted a mission and I wasn't disappointed. This is merely the soundtrack of that condition. Waiting for the mission. Send me another one. And when it's done, son, send me another one. Only solution, send me another one. Bring it on.
Yeah, when all this is over, we're going to need some serious therapy. Post-trauma.
I feel like you stole my life. I'm not the person I'm supposed to be. It's like I'm hollow.
That's good. Go on.
My introduction of life was nothing but love and suffice. Then discovering how suffering would come with a vice. Another device for burning a candle at both ends. Turning the handles, learning from vandals and broke friends. I've quoted girls that held a piece of my heart in their hands and wrote it on a train like it was part of the plan. Devoted my whole energy to mischievous sex. Cause the primitive fact of the system is the prisons is packed. My vision of tracks to the train of thought would rearrange things engraved that the brain is taught. As an advocate of suffering, use the messenger's voice. Use aerosol the knowledge as my weapon of choice. Hard to the core with smarts that were sharper than swords. Embarked on a mission, enlisting kids to take part in the war. Holding cats express how my brothers found wisdom with post-traumatic stress in this underground system. There's no exception to post-traumatic stress. The folks that are crazy, you just know that have it less. Weak hearts, leak scarred and damaged. But you can't prevent abandonment when lower class don't pass the test. There's no exception to post-traumatic stress. The folks that are crazy, you just know that have it less. Weak hearts, leak scarred and damaged. But you can't prevent abandonment when lower class don't pass the test. The second verse was my introduction to death. I watched friends struggle for breath until nothing was left. Then something would test my ability in life. Went from agility and fights to similes and mics. With artillery to write nothing less than perfection. Resurrecting my dead brethren with my present progression. Presented the question how I survived the life lessons with rhyme sessions provided inside and live essence. Went from fake hands to wastelands and tests to stage fans and straight plans to escape hands of death. Fake stands, the rage can't progress to motive. Sick of the fixed rules with the lip views that's less explosive. I invest emotion on a bigger gritty level. Engage with this race as an inner city rebel. Life is self-conducted and in post-trauma. But my function is to be reluctant to the post-trauma. There's no exception to post-traumatic stress. The folks that are crazy, you just know that have it less. Weak hearts, leak scarred and damaged. But you can't prevent abandonment when lower class don't pass the test. There's no exception to post-traumatic stress. The folks that are crazy, you just know that have it less. Weak hearts, leak scarred and damaged. But you can't prevent abandonment when lower class don't pass the test.
Holding shit down until the last hour.
Chinese Man Records.
Cut some break beats along with the pedigree.
Post-trauma.
Pump the volume up. human. No. You just fucked up.
Yeah, crazy samples there. Wasn't that good? That's Chinese Man Post-Trauma on the ChabDog Sports Talk Radio Show. This is Eric the Well-Read sitting in for the big ChabDog. He's taking some time with his son who's heading off to Alabama. Roll Tide, Roll Tide, Roll Tide, Roll Tide. And now we've got to talk a little bit about our presidential candidate, Joe Biden, this week. And, Joe, I mean, he's, anyone of my age, who's boomers, or not boomers, Gen Xers, thank you, in our 50s, we grew up with Joe. We know Joe. I mean, he's, he tried to run in 88 there, and he got shut down because of plagiarism. And he's gaffe prone. Look, we know Joe. He's a nice old guy. And this week he keeps notching it up to a new level. He's having an interview on CBS, and and this black dude's interviewing him. And the dude's got a bit of an accent. Maybe he comes from England. Maybe he comes from somewhere else. He's clearly didn't grow up in America, which is cool. Hey, this is sort of the point that he said earlier. He made 2 gaffes this week, or multiple, but the other one was when he said that that Spanish have a much greater diaspora. They come from all over the world, and somehow saying that blacks didn't. It was just like bizarre. But here's a black with an accent who clearly grew up somewhere where he got more of an English accent out of it, and was interviewing and asking. So back to the point, was asking Biden, as the president's been, saying he scored the highest ever attained on a cognitive test and blah blah blah, bragging and stuff, and saying, "Oh, by the way, Joe, will you take a test?" And Biden snips back to the reporter and says, What, man, what are you saying here? What, did they make you take a test for cocaine before you got on the air and interviewed me? Actually, he didn't even say it that eloquently. He said it all broken up. Come on, man. Oh, Biden. Oh, Joe. So it's a cocaine test, or is it a cognitive test? I'm not sure he might have even known the difference anyway. Clearly the guy's losing capacity. It's an Orwellian society.
I hate it! No, you don't hate it. I know you don't.
Yeah, no, you don't hate it. I know you don't. What, you telling me what I do and don't? No, lady.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
I'll hate what I want when I want. And when I have to, I'll make the decision here. Because it's a cycle. Your beginning is your ending and your interim. Your appearance is historic. Coincidence. But they link it to your incorrect conditioning. Now everybody's screaming racism as a consequence. It's a cycle. Your beginning is your ending and your interim. Your appearance is a historical coincidence. But they link your appearance to your incorrect conditioning. Now everybody's screaming racism as a consequence. Once upon a time.
Bring out the marching band. Do me subs, Chinese man. Once upon a time in this great land, European settlers were set up on the caveman quest. Dutch king summoning Ian van Beck. The rest was Queen Elizabeth, conquestors portrayed quite well by Kate Blanchett. Great actress, wait, I may digress. Before that was pyramids and villages with pygmy little men and other such denizens rest. Complex systems of living, some fishing, some building, and others out killing. Matriarchy where the kings were tribes women. Painted art still seen today in tribe symbols. It's a cycle. Your beginning is your ending or your interim. Your appearance is a historic coincidence, but they link it to your incorrect conditioning. Now everybody's screaming racism as a consequence. Bring out the marching band. Let them play an anthem for a continent. You and them box the plan. Liberate the mind but forgot the land. Bring out the marching band. Let them play an anthem for a continent. Why you done botched the plan? Liberate the land but forgot the man.
Feel the momentum of an unspent force. A liberation found, another one get lost.
magazine kept, all the gun get tossed. Perpetual provisions of the sunset clause. No wonder they demand more. Nobody planned for Brazilian cuts in the pubic crotch of a land caught in a Mexican standoff. Picture a poverty-stricken finger twitching on the hairpin trigger and pause. Can't deny my stress. I know better than to blame the wild, wild west. As to reign that I address is a mindset. Bigger the jail, the less serious the crimes get. So the tumbleweed rolls through these empty streets. They shot the sheriff, all we have is the deputy. And he definitely does not want to rock the boat. So we work hard, sharp and gloat to forget we bleed. Bring out the marching band. Let them play an anthem for a continent. You and them box the plan. Liberate the mind but forgot the land. Bring out the marching band. Let them play an anthem for a continent. Why you done botched the plan? Liberate the land but forgot the man. He bought a range, but his ain't off. Caught a plane, but it ain't take off. JFK straight shot, Great Lakes paying for it. Hate makes the air foggy. SA takes notice, play it safe, same result. So David Blaine get the rainbow. So to y'all, you can rise away to the new realizer tapers off. Break a law, take it from. You get out your acres, I'd sooner root for that than a handout. Put the arms embargo, better be my own Zimbabwe. Tell cold and power to swallow my bow and arrow and follow that. With his chosen angle to photograph. My ass no apparel to cover from all of that nasty. All about poverty, playing it off happy. Skin too thick, get a little tin of acne cream. Or Vaseline, you wait till them Somali kids give you a take from that Bruce Wayne alley scene. Bring out the marching band. Let them play an anthem for a continent. You and them box the plan. Liberate the mind but forgot the land. Bring out the marching band. Let them play an anthem for a continent. You and them box the plan. Hey, liberate the mind but forgot the land.
And that was Once Upon a Time, Chinese Man from the Groove Sessions, Volume 3, on the ChabDog Sports Talk Radio Show. This is Eric the Well-Read, sitting in for ChabDog. We've got, still have Frank the Tank coming up, and Brian from Sports Rock later on in the show. But in the meantime, we've got Lee Ella. This is
I'll
classic.
tell you one fucking thing. I hope we get fucking hotter than shit just to stuff it up them 3,000 fucking people that show up every fucking day. Because if they're the real Chicago fucking fans, they can kiss my fucking ass right downtown and print it. They're really, really behind you around here. My fucking ass. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Go out there and let my fucking players get destroyed every day and be quiet about it for the fucking nickel-dime people that show up? The motherfuckers don't even work. That's why they're out at the fucking game. They only go out and get a fucking job and find out what it's like to go out there and a fucking living. 85% of the fucking world's working. The other 15 come out here. A fucking playground for the cocksuckers. Rip them motherfuckers. Rip them cocksuckers like the fucking players.
The passion.
Got guys busting their fucking ass and them fucking people boo. And that's the Cubs? My fucking ass. They talk about the great fucking support that the players get around here. I haven't seen it this fucking year. The name of the game is hit the ball, catch the ball, and get the fucking job done. Right now, we have more losses than we have wins. The fucking changes that have happened in the Cub organization are multifold. All right, they don't show because we're 5-14. And unfortunately, that's the criteria of them dumb 15 motherfucking percent that come out to day baseball. The other 85% are earning a living. It'll take more than a 5-13 or 5-14 to destroy the makeup of this club. I'll guarantee you that. There's some fucking pros out there that want to fucking play this game. But you're stuck in a fucking stigma of the fucking Dodgers and the Phillies and the Cardinals and all that cheap shit. All these motherfucking editorials about Say and fucking The Philly-itis and all that shit, it's sickening. It's unbelievable. It really is. It's a disheartening fucking situation we're in right now. 5-14 doesn't negate all that work. Got 143 fucking games left. What I'm trying to say is don't rip them fucking guys out there. Rip me. If you want to rip somebody, rip my fucking ass. But don't rip them fucking guys.
Just love the passion. That's Liella there, and that's you know what, everybody? Together, you and I, we're all in the lifeboat. We're in the 5-14 season right now. This is what we're going through because we're getting conflicting information. Or the appearance of it anyway. I mean, does hydroxychloroquine work or doesn't it? Why can't anyone just give us a straight answer? Why is there some question there? Do masks work or don't they? And, forever they didn't work. For anything, an aerosolized virus particle is going to come right through pretty much everything except an N95 in a medical setting, and walking into a store ain't a medical setting, so it ain't going to stop shit. But all of a sudden, we're led to believe something's different, or that opening schools, when they open them in Europe and everything, they're fine. The kids aren't communicable, and yet over here somehow we think they are. What's going on here? What's the straight? Well, something ain't right. I'm going to get myself connected. I ain't going to go blind. For the light which is reflected. You dirty tricks, you make me sick. These are dirty tricks. I see through you. Won't someone try? Open your eyes. You must be blind if you can't see the gaping hole called reality. How can you not feel like we're getting played?
someone try, open up your eyes. You must be blind if you can't see the gaping hole called reality. Wanna do it again? I'm gonna do it again. Wanna do it again? Come on, I'm gonna do it again. Hear me out. Terrified, son, it ain't right. Here we go. If you make sure you're connected, the writing's on the wall. But if your mind's neglected, stumble you might fall, stumble you might fall. Stumble you might fall. If you make sure you're connected, the writing's on the wall. But if your mind's neglected, stumble you might fall. Stumble you might fall. Stumble you might fall. If you make sure you're connected, the writing's on the wall. But if your mind's neglected, stumble you might fall. Stumble you might fall. Stumble you might fall. If you make sure you're connected, the writing's on the wall. But if your mind's neglected, stumble you might fall. Stumble you might fall.
And that is the Stereo MCs with Connected on the ChabDog Sports Talk Radio Show. And again, another song, great lyrics. Yeah, don't go blind. You must be blind if you can't see the gaping hole called reality. Open your eyes. We see through you. Yeah, I see through you. I see through all this crap. I don't quite have it all figured out. But something ain't right. And I have faith, 100%. That we're going to pull through this, and that most of us, the majority, I have tremendous faith that the majority of Americans are actually pretty well reasoned, and that we see through the crap to the truth, to enough of the truth to know what isn't true, to enough to know that a peaceful protest isn't the attempted arson of a police station or a police union building, or other buildings that people object to. That's not peaceful protest. That's a lie. That we're being told, that immigrants that came across completely undocumented are immigrants, legal immigrants, and not illegal aliens. I mean, this game's they've been playing this game on us for a while, but I believe most Americans see through it. Well, we're coming up to the break here on the ChabDog Sports Talk Radio Show. We got the first hour down. We got another hour coming up. And in that next hour, we got Frank Fleming calling in from Sports Encyclopedia. We've got Brian calling in from Sports Rock. We're going to have a grand old time.
Back in time.
So stick around for our next hour on the ChabDog Sports Talk Radio Show, coming up after a few commercials and a few more songs here.
We're told that greatness is exceptional, when it should be expected. You choose every day to live your life intentionally, without apology for how bright your light may shine. So go be great. Go be brilliant. Go be you. Go defy life. The Defy Life movement is one that speaks to each of us in its own way. Defy Life gear speaks to us all by reminding us that one size does not fit all. Visit DefyLifeGear.com to get fitted for greatness.
The law office of Brandon S. Chabner, serving clients in Southern California with transactional legal services since 2007. We handle general, corporate, outside counsel type work, drafting and negotiating a wide variety of business and commercial contracts, including non-disclosure agreements, independent contractor agreements, and employment agreements. Our experience includes working with public and private companies and involves a broad range of industries, including healthcare, consumer products, real estate, and high technology. Mr. Chabner has over 20 years of legal experience, having worked for some larger national firms and serving as general counsel for a multi-million-dollar private company here in Southern California before starting his own legal practice. His educational credentials include a law degree from UCLA, where he was on law review, undergraduate degree at Yale, where he graduated magna cum laude, and an MBA from Harvard Business School. Other areas of focus for Chabner Law include press release and business plan editing, pre-litigation matters, and debt and mortgage resolution work. You can contact us at 310-698-0740 and at bchabner@chabnerlaw.com.
Like ChabDog said, he was 100% right.
He can take all comers.
This is how the game is supposed to be. I got the guts of a nigga doing burglaries. Cool like I'm cutting up a surgery. BA for the niggas that ain't heard of me. Put the Henny up and put your money down. Scared money gets took, there's more to go around. Fools are shook from when they hear the bass pound. Didn't know BA was getting down with the sound. Money is something that I got to get, so I gotta keep it hot from the intro. Shay came over and she brought the endo. Plus 2 Dutchies she got from the sit-go. Y'all know what time it is. BA ain't really on no violent shit. Just really wanna vibe and shit. Lay back, listen to my rhyme and shit. R12.
We're going all out, and we can't fail, throw it out, never be in doubt. This is R12.
R12.
We're going all out, and we can't fail, throw it out, never be in doubt. This is R12.
R12.
We're going all out, and we can't fail, throw it out, never be in doubt. This is R12.
R12.
We're going all out, and we can't fail, throw it out, never be in doubt. This is R12.
R12 pay double when you off in the field. Niggas is mad cause rap money's buying my meals. I ain't gotta hate, just stating how I feel. Y'all don't understand the work that it took to get the deal. Better ready up, the dice is finna roll. Blood flowing through my veins is ice cold. Bet the mother load that you see these whack. Took your shit back, showing disgust with these tracks. Niggas make an album and hang on 2 songs. 2 that's okay, 10 that's so wrong. Rhyming off beat, the tracks that's too long. My dirty dozen, they bang like King Kong. This is R12, my ship is coming in. Punk money stay to the side, it can't win. Put it all down on 2 dice to spin. When it looks like money, I breaks out the grin. R12.
We're going all out, and we can't fail, throw it out, never be in doubt. This is R12.
R12.
We're going all out, and we can't fail, throw it out, never be in doubt. This is R12.
R12.
We're going all out, and we can't fail, throw it out, never be in doubt. This is R12.
R12.
We're going all out, and we can't fail, throw it out, never be in doubt. This is R12.
R12.
We're going all out, and we can't fail, throw it out, never be in doubt. This is R12.
R12.
We're going all out, and we can't fail, throw it out, never be in doubt. This is R12.
R12.
We're going all out, and we can't fail, throw it out, never be in doubt. This is R12.
R12.
We're going all out, and we can't fail, throw it out, never be in doubt. This is R12.
pass, she won't notice you. And your ex rays of your paleo man, okay, how they rest and play, slowly corrupting you. I wonder what the chances you wanted to. 1,000 vacant stares will make it true, make it true. You need a witness just to know you're there. From the tips of your fingers, every strand of hair. Yeah. You know someone's watching you, watching me, watching you. And all that we look upon. You may not know me, but you feel my stare. And if she sees you, it changes you, rearranges your molecules. And if you see her, it changes her. She's a danger now after school. And if she sees you, it changes you, rearranges your molecules. And if you see her, it changes her. She'll be seeing you after school. He's a gentleman avert the rise. Maybe she's a gentleman in disguise, in disguise. Need a witness just to know you're there. The tips of your fingers, every strand of hair. Know someone's watching you, watching me, watching you. You know all that we look upon. You may not know me, but you feel my stare. And if I see you, how it changes me. And if you see me, how it changes you, changes you. And if I see changes me, if you see how it changes you, changes you.
Yes, and you are listening to the ChabDog Sports Talk Radio Show. This is Eric the Well Red. Welcome back to part 2 of the ChabDog Sports Talk Radio Show, brought to you by the law offices of Brandon S. Chabner, business attorney, corporate counsel, and family trusts. Check us out. This is Eric the Well Red filling in for the ChabDog, and that was Roma Fade. And if you notice the buzzing there in the final seconds, that was not my board. That was not the my musical source either. That is the source, or that's how they made the song. That's how Andrew Bird here likes to jack it around. Andrew Bird, a L.A. musician. That's contemporary music here. Just, a little breather here. I mean, most weeks, every week, we play clips, and a lot of the clips are music of the past, music we grew up with 40 years ago, movies we grew up with 40 years ago.
Frank Fleming, joining us from Jersey.
Yep. Hey, Frank.
Hey, how's it going?
Wonderful, thanks. This is Frank Fleming from Sports Encyclopedia, sportsencyclopedia.com, and Barstool Sports, and the Newark Courthouse. And what else can we hail you from, Tank? The Mets?
Well, just about anything. YouTube, hot mic, whatever.
Yep. Cameo, regular contributor. And a very honest and revealing man who was on the scale this morning, and I congratulate you for holding in there. It's almost, did you count today as a win at 430.6?
I guess that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, the rate of increase is stopped. It's declining. You're going to swing the negative here in no time, but and a Mets win doesn't hurt. I mean, you weren't expecting Familia to hold it together, were you? You thought he was going to blow it.
He didn't hold it together. He sucked. They had to bring in another guy to save his ass.
Yeah, but he didn't explode. Yep. That's what I mean. I mean, at least Familia
didn't
give up.
Did.
Almost, yeah, but almost isn't did. Is that a game that Mickey Callaway would have left him in too long if Mickey was still here?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he would say that's a game. He has electric stuff. Have you watched the Angels? Look at the wonderful job he's doing there with their bullpen.
Angels are struggling.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And
now Michael Walker's on the disabled list, and they're bringing back Corey Oswalt, who has a tattoo that says "I heart losing."
Oh yeah, Oswald's like capital L loser. I mean, you can't find anything better in all of baseball. You got to have Corey Oswalt and Familia pitch for you. Like
his lifetime ERA is 9.11, and he's 0-7. And he says, 0-7 is like being in heaven.
Wow. I guess that's one way to look at it, the loser's way. Hey, Tank, what happened last week? A week ago, Cespedes, he went MIA.
They had an intramural game.
Oh, yeah.
In the alternate site, and they brought in a church league, and it was all women's church league. He gave 8 home runs in the dirt in the main. And they even had a 97-year-old woman hit on 511 feet off of Corey Oswalt. That's what a bunch of fucking loser he is.
Wow.
And Ricky says, I love Corey Oswalt.
Well, of course. That's why that roster's still... they got to get rid of Mickey's roster now. Those losers.
Well, CAA, which means he's here to stay. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if they could play, as long as they're represented by CAA.
And speaking of TAA, Cespedes. I mean, don't the two connect? Can't he bring Cespedes to heel and say, look, you got to play?
Because they are incompetent!
Guess what? It's all him money, and the money goes to Brody. He gets a tenth of it if he's still his agent.
Yeah, but the money train stops if he doesn't play. At some point. It has to.
No, the paperwork got messed up, and the Mets have to give up their top prospect.
Oh. Man, that is insider trading.
He says he looks out for his guys, his CAA guys. That's why he traded Jared Knelnick, who they said who's going to be the best player in the 22nd century. He's going to hit 811 home runs. He's going to get 4,500 hits, and he's going to have a lifetime batting average of 411.
And what the Mets get for him? A spit bucket?
And lose Diaz.
Oh no!
Cano.
Oh you
CAA guys.
Oh no! You got Cano and Edwin Luziaz. Oh no!
And Cano is out probably for the rest of the season.
Oh, Cano's like he's the most expensive damaged goods you could buy. And Ed Luz Diaz, well, that speaks for itself.
He signed it. Mets traded. What's the guy's name? They traded. Who's the guy that's doing really good for the A's this year? To get Darren Lowry, who's only having at bats for the Mets. But it's CAA, so that's the only way if you're with CAA.
Okay, well, knowing that the Wilpons would never leave a penny on the table for somebody else, and yet this is so clearly benefiting CAA, what favor did they owe to CAA to let them basically pillage the cupboard here?
That Wilpon owns 0.1% of CAA.
Yeah, so he's getting paid through the back door, right? Is that what you're suspecting?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, because this don't look right.
They don't call them the Will Ponzi's for nothing.
Oh, no, of course not. They're always into a scheme. They're always into finding a way they can make money off of someone else's back, or scheme, or scam, or whatever. They're not into anything that's legitimate. They're not into anything that even works properly, or, heaven forbid, be moral. So, Tank, why did the Pirates suck this year? Why did it turn on them so quickly?
They have no players.
They didn't have any players last year either, did they?
Well, they had more players, but they traded Starling Marte. Chris Archer's out for the year with an injury, and that was a disastrous trade.
Uh-huh.
They gave up Austin Meadows for him.
Okay. Huh. And I opened my eyes this morning, and the Rockies are 11-3.
That I don't understand how that happened.
I don't either. I mean, what? Is the air in Colorado somehow different than anywhere else? It's bizarre.
Yeah, that's a major surprise.
Yeah. And have you seen any good hockey fights lately?
I'm gonna hang up. I'm gonna be back. I just go inside. I just got home.
Okay.
So I'll be back on in about 5 minutes.
Very good. All right, we'll catch you in 5, Tank. And that's Frank Fleming of Sports Encyclopedia, sportsencyclopedia.com in Barstool. He'll be coming back to join us a little later. In the meantime, let's we're just about to talk some hockey there. Let's bring on the Arrogant Worms because they like hockey.
I can't hear you, so maybe I could talk to you as I'm going through the door.
Well, I'll play this for you to listen to.
Me work hard 5 days a week, sweeping garbage from the street. Come home, not one book to read, not enough pictures for me see. Sit right down in favorite chair, wearing only underwear. Favorite night is Saturday night, 'cause me can watch hockey fights. Me like hockey. Me like hockey.
Me not like pro basketball, 'cause me short and they all tall. Baseball slow like Forrest Gump, except when Robbie spits on ump. WrestleMania not so great, me like to see Hulk Hogan skate. TV soccer not that hot, you play bad then you get shot. Me like hockey.
Me like hockey. Swedish players must be geeks, 'cause they still got unreal teeth. Not like Finnish players' names. What's a Timu anyway? Russians worse in history. Got stupid names like Valerie. Me like Sergei Fedorov.
Me like Imre Fedorov.
Me like hockey. Me like hockey.
Me like hockey.
We like hockey!
Please, Mr. Linesman, let the players fight. 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 Let them 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 fight. Let them.
Friends come over, put game on. Argue, then we lay bets down. Got bag of chips and case of bud. Should last till end of first period. But Yankees, they win the World Cup. Me think they cheat, use glowy puck.
Maybe if we want to winter, maybe we should play in winter. Me like hockey. Me like hockey. Me like hockey. Me like hockey.
And that's the Arrogant Worms here on the ChabDog Sports Talk Radio Show, and we've got Brian joining us as well. Hello, Brian.
All right.
And we've got Frank on the line from New Jersey. Still with us, Tank?
Hey.
Yeah.
Frank Fleming joining us from Jersey.
I love that line.
Frank. Yeah, Brian from Banning. Hey, how's it going? Not too bad. Not too bad.
How's the fire up your way?
That's kind of moved off. That's moved off, excuse me, to the far northeast there.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's out to the out toward the desert out there. I don't know if you know Highway 62 out that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, heading toward Desert Hot Springs. Of course, it turns into nothing but dry, sandy desert out that way. So
yeah,
you can't go
well,
much
like
further.
Desert Hot Springs. You been to Desert Hot Springs?
Have I been there?
Yeah, of course. I know. Of course, the answer is yes. It's a rhetorical question.
No, sure, I've gone by there.
Yeah, the WIC office. It's funny. A WIC office stands out like a sore thumb in the desert.
Yeah.
I've stayed there before.
Yeah, it's got some not immediate, but relations living out that way. Actually.
Oh yeah, I've stayed at the resort there. It's actually really nice. I like that area there. I mean, the people, they also have facilities that Palm Springs doesn't have. In fact, that Palm Springs is hiding. Palm Springs hides its facilities for the people that need help over in Desert Hot Springs. It's really not really a hidden joke. It's just like as you go to Palm Springs, it's all like none of this exists because it's the treatment and the recovery is happening over in the springs or Desert Hot Springs.
Yeah.
But Tank and I were just talking some NHL, and Tank, are the Rangers out already?
Rangers got their asses swept.
Yeah. Okay. Is that the only team that's officially gone so far?
Nope. The 7 of the 8 series are over.
Oh.
Only one game 5 is tonight.
Okay.
And then we move on to the main 16 teams.
Okay. So we're starting to get
The biggest surprise is the Penguins. The Penguins lost to the Canadiens, and this umpire Angel Hernandez is behind home plate today for the Mets. And balls are going right down the plate. He's just shaking his head.
Oh, the Mets on right now?
Yep.
Oh, fantastic.
And he actually took off his mask and started to yell at DeGrom.
Oh, this is great. Tank, this is so great to have you on live during a Mets game.
Did you hear he's going to be the umpire forever?
Get the popcorn out, Brian.
He has to work every World Series game.
Uh-huh.
I believe in angel.
Oh, that song, that ABBA song. Oh, ew. It's like I'm coated in
The
syrup
Mets
now.
have not won a game that he's umpired behind home plate since 1997. They're 0-97.
I think there's a trend there. I mean, if I'm Vegas, that's like a good betting line.
And he said that there was one ball that actually bounced in the dirt. He called a strike against the Mets. And then he flew 3 players out, and they had to have a pitcher play 2 positions.
Wow. A pitcher, of all people.
You see the Mets are the true passion of New York.
There was a pitch where he did the Frank Drebin, where he went, strike, and he actually did that one time. And there allowed to be a strike. And he's horrible.
Haven't been kept up with the hockey much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not much of a hockey fan, are you, Brian?
Yeah, but
start to watch it as it gets in there.
Mm-hmm.
I see it on the baseball. I heard you mention the Rockies there.
Yes. Yeah, what's your take? 11-3. How'd they do it? Smoke and mirrors? Or what kind of smoke and mirrors are they
Hard
using?
to say with this, like with this short season. There could be some surprises. Just the right team gets in the right streaks.
Uh-huh.
Nothing wouldn't surprise me. You get some kind of miracle team popping out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I did notice the other day, I was checking things out there. Judge is going bonkers out in New York.
The Oilers were another 5 seed that lost to a 12 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't hear about that.
Mm-hmm. And Giancarlo Stanton, yeah. So what's up with Stanton, Tank?
He's always hurt.
Yeah. Didn't take long, eh? So poor Yankees, yeah. They still got lots they can rely on. As you mentioned, Judge is hitting home runs every night, so he's homering every game.
Yeah, he was leading homers, RBIs, runs, slugging percentage, total bases, all the big numbers.
Well, those Yankees sure are good at identifying and getting talent on their roster, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Well, the Mets don't have any scouts. That's why the Mets have no prospects in the top 35, 350.
But Tank.
You see, the Mets are the true passion of New York.
So is that... Maybe that's what we're seeing, that New York is falling apart because of Metsian logic. It was Yankee logic, it'd be a clean-run place run by Giuliani, but with Metsian logic, you've got de Blasio and people shitting in the streets and people up on the upper west side of all places, doing heroin and getting junked out because they're living in hotels. Can you believe that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that the
crazy.
Mets? Is that the Metsian of New York? Is that what happened, Tank?
Yep.
The true passion really took over. So you're right on so many levels there. Wow. And all those people, they're all moved off to the Hamptons and up the island, aren't they? The former taxpayers of New York?
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
In Westchester County, too.
Mm-hmm. But this hasn't upset anything around Newark, has it? Newark's been just as violent as it always has, right?
Pretty much.
Did you ever have Antifa people at your courthouse?
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah, that in Portland, and Brian, you may have noticed this, that they, so the federal people have stood down, and now the Oregon State Police are in there. And they last night attempted to light fire to one of the police stations and a police union office building. So so they declared it an unlawful assembly and a riot for the 71st night in a row. So even the mayor is getting a little ticked off and not wanting to admit. He's more willing to admit that this is not a peaceful protest than he was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. It's like, come on, people.
Well, it's hard to be it's hard to be of one mind when we clearly see that he and others are advancing ideas that we know are patently not true. Tank, are you watching much NBA this year?
I haven't watched much yet.
Yeah.
Wake me up when the playoffs actually start.
Uh-huh. Brian, you watching any NBA?
I haven't really watched any. Haven't started watching anything yet. Just kind of keep an eye on what's going on. Lakers disappointing.
Yeah, that's not even good news.
Wake me up when the playoffs actually start.
Yeah. If you're a Lakers fan,
I heard
this isn't
LeBron was saying that the lack of crowd may be part of his problem.
Oh, really? Well, can you take some Viagra? Is there Viagra for that? Come on, LeBron. Get it up. Get it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched.
I thought that was kind of
what I've seen photographs of LeBron and his other teammates wearing those black shirts with the Black Lives Matter on it and doing disrespectful things during the anthem. And I'm just... well, okay, here's my beef. Yeah, Black Lives Matter, yes. But the organization Black Lives Matter is like self-identified as a Marxist organization whose goal is not to advance the actual meaning and spirit of the words Black Lives Matter, but to put forward Marxist ideology against the nuclear family, against ideas of having people actually come from where you have a mother and a father, against ideas of capitalism that we have built as a nation, and towards ideas of Marxism. And yet, and so they're already blurring the lines by using that term, and now the NBA is backing it up and blurring them further. It's like,
and the media is behind it.
And the media is eating it up. It's like,
did you hear about the African American Experience Museum in Washington, the Smithsonian?
I haven't, but let me guess. They got a white man in a cage?
African American Experience.
They put a display up, a sign.
Sorry, what now?
Whiteness
and
how it is against anti-black.
You can just do that in L.A. L.A. you can just head on down to I don't know, Compton.
Mm-hmm.
There's your Black Lives Experience.
Dominant culture. And the white dominant culture is the family, capitalism, everything you just mentioned,
mm-hmm.
and how it needs to be reversed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, by a white liberal woman. Because that's not the people running Black Lives Matter. The people behind it all, the people pulling the strings aren't black. Aren't even black.
No, they're not.
It's another group altogether of white Marxists, of women and different genders, as they call it. So back to that. So back to the NBA. Yeah, if you're going to force politics on me, at least get them right. I will not be lectured or talked down to by millionaire NBA players who I consider ignorant in terms of their politics, especially regarding China, especially regarding their choice of business partners. So they partner up with China to form a $5 billion business entity of NBA China since 2016, and it's full of holes and people on the take. And what about? And then China itself is a basket case. There are human rights abuses. There are. I mean, it's well documented. Organ harvesting. It's documented. Corruption. It's a Marxist country. There you are. So maybe we're this Black Lives Matter Marxism and tying up with China. I mean, hey, they're both Marxist. I mean, do you want me to put A and B, connect the dots, and say that the NBA and Adam Silver are also a Marxist organization?
The aspects and assumptions of white culture, rugged individualism.
Yes.
The individual is the primary unit.
Mm-hmm.
Self-reliance, independence, and autonomy reward individuals assumed to be in control of their environment.
Yes.
While, as opposed to our great blackness, where we all think alike for the group dynamic and come together for, oh my God, Jacob DeGrom is hurt.
Uh-oh. Was he hit by a pitch? Or I mean, hit by a ball? A ball in play? No? Tearing muscle?
No, he's not riding on the ground.
Oh, no.
The next trainer just stretched him and broke his arm.
Did he break his back? Spinal. I broke my back. Oh, Mike was a disc crack. Spinal. Remember that? Mike Tyson?
I tell you, the Mets have no fucking break. No fucking luck. Every year. Every fucking year something goes wrong. Which means we're going to get Paul Sewald and his lifetime record of 1-18 starting games.
You sure DeGrom's not faking just so he can get out?
No, it looks like a blister. And he's walked 2 batters. Every batter's been...
I know, Tank. It's 2020. DeGrom could just be faking it. He just wants to get out of the game. He wants to end the season and go sit with Cespedes on the farm and roast a pig.
and the umpire was completely squeezing DeGrom. and he smiles, too. The Mets lasted, when he were batting, 3 pitches, 3 outs.
Wow, it's like turning the knife a little bit further while it's inside your back already. Turning it. Is this the pain of turning it to the left or the pain of turning it to the right, Frank? Imagine that, seeing your best pitcher down.
Well, they looked at his finger.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably a fucking blister.
Yeah, those blisters are serious.
Cardinals.
Oh, the Cardinals. They're not playing baseball, are they?
Nope. Sitting there 2-3 the whole 5 games that they played. Other teams are up to 15.
Yeah, well, they should be back in a few days.
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming back.
And no new teams, nothing new has gone on the roster, so.
Yeah.
And even then, if people are asymptomatic, I mean, why not just let them play?
10 games behind everybody else.
Yeah, well, I guess, hey, play it out and see where it ends up, right? I mean, where it goes is where we'll figure it out when we get there, right?
Yeah.
So you got a chance to play the games, play the games. If you play all of them, maybe that'll be a different standing than if you only play 3/4 of a schedule. Maybe there's a way to make up the games along the way. I don't know. Maybe everyone else will pull down or...
Starting from whiteness. Here it is, family structure. A nuclear family is a father and mother, 2.3 children is the ideal social unit.
Yes.
Husband is the breadwinner, wife is a homemaker and subordinate to her husband. Children should have their own rooms and be independent. What we should have is 5 families living in one apartment, gathering together for the sake of a global unit where we get the rewards from a good government.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the government just hands you out money, whether you work or not. And so you just keep on having children.
Hard work is the key to success. Work before play. If you don't meet your goals, you didn't work hard enough. What we should do is get everything for F-R-E-E. Give me that do-re-mi.
Oh, yeah, you'll be expected to just work at the courthouse, Tank, and your pension and everything you save for will just be held by the government for you, and just be paid to you as part of your subsistence. Yeah, all your private because
only Allah can teach us the true meaning and be compatible with our great new socialist dignity. This is literally what they put out in the African American Museum in the Smithsonian.
Wow, really? I thought the Smithsonian was taxpayer money for the people. That's very partisan.
Well, they have the African American Experience Museum, and they call this the chart on whiteness and white culture.
Well, okay, if it's in the context of the African American part of the museum or their museum, and it's curated by African Americans, then if the curators wants to get really cute, an African American curator wants to get really cute and turn it around and exhibit this, I mean, it can be bad.
All guitar-based music needs to be banned. Only rap music, everything needs to be rap music.
Okay, well then.
So it fills your brains and no more harmonies, just rap and beat. Boom, 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 boom. If you don't listen to rap music, you should be put in jail. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Ba, bi-di-di-da-da, ba, ba-da-da-da-ba, ba-da-da-da-ba, da-da-da-da-ba, ba-da-da-da-ba, and da-ba-ba-da-da-da-ba. This is literally what one of these songs sounds like.
I like me some MC Hammer every once in a while.
Looks like Paul Seward's about to come in. The Grom's not long for this game, which means...
Okay, well, at least DeGrom isn't on the ground anymore. Hey, Brian, here's something we can all be proud of. Yeah, you ever heard of, do you know who Theodore Sorensen is?
Theodore Sorensen.
Tank, do you remember Theodore Sorensen? He was first Kennedy's and
I don't know
then...
who that is.
He was first President Kennedy's and then Johnson's speechwriter. And he wrote this speech for Lyndon Baines Johnson. And it's what he read for the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And even though it's, this is something we can be proud of as people.
My fellow Americans, I am about to sign into law the Civil Rights Act of 1964. I want to take this occasion to talk to you about what that law means to every American. 188 years ago this week, a small band of valiant men began a long struggle for freedom. They pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor, not only to found a nation, but to forge an ideal of freedom, not only for political independence, but for personal liberty, not only to eliminate foreign rule, but to establish the rule of justice in the affairs of men. That struggle was a turning point in our history. Today, in far corners of distant continents, the ideals of those American patriots still shape the struggles of men who hunger for freedom. This is a proud triumph. Yet those who founded our country knew that freedom would be secure only if each generation fought to renew and enlarge its meaning. From the Minutemen at Concord to the soldiers in Vietnam, each generation has been equal to that trust. Americans of every race and color have died in battle to protect our freedom. Americans of every race and color have worked to build a nation of widening opportunities. Now, our generation of Americans has been called on to continue the unending search for justice within our own borders. We believe that all men are created equal, yet many are denied equal treatment. We believe that all men have certain unalienable rights, yet many Americans do not enjoy those rights. We believe that all men are entitled to the blessings of liberty, yet millions are being deprived of those blessings, not because of their own failures, but because of the color of their skin. The reasons are deeply embedded in history and tradition and the nature of man. We can understand without rancor or hatred how this all happened, but it cannot continue. Our Constitution, the foundation of our republic, forbids it. The principles of our freedom forbid it. Morality forbids it. And the law I will sign tonight forbids it.
And I put to you, gentlemen, that's the spirit of those words are alive and well in most of our countrymen, just not in not in the Marxists and not in the media who's reporting them.
That's powerful stuff there,
isn't it? Yeah, that is alive and well. The Marxists are trying to lead us otherwise, but in my heart, that is still true.
Well, you know what LBJ was saying behind closed doors, don't you?
Oh, God, don't get me started, Tank. Yeah, I know a lot of what he used to do. You drink a fifth of Cuddy Sark a day. What do you? Which particular point are you calling on?
When he signed the Civil Rights Act, he supposedly said that he goes, I don't like those fuckers, but if I sign this, they'll be voting for us for 100. These N-words will be voting for us for 100 years.
Yeah, that's pretty much a direct quote. I remember that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
But he is right.
Yeah, he lost the South, the Dixiecrats.
We're talking. You want to talk about some sympathetic, symbolic, whatever they call it, symbolic racism.
Systemic,
Mr.
so-called
Mr.
systemic.
LBJ.
Oh God, yeah. But he wasn't. Yeah, he for his era. He was pretty light racist for his era.
You know, I like Joe Biden said that Donald Trump is the first racist president. I guess he's never heard of
Calvin Coolidge,
of Woodrow Wilson.
Woodrow Wilson. Yeah, there's quite a few.
Yep.
Oh, Woodrow Wilson was driving him. He was like summarily firing African Americans from the just working jobs in the White House.
The rumor is he ghost wrote that movie, Birth of a Nation.
Yes, he did like to play it at the White House.
Which was, premiered at the White House, and his quote was, "This is exactly how it happened, as it told and unfolded." in that movie, basically, the Ku Klux Klan is the hero.
Oh yeah. They're saving the purity of the race. Yeah, I've
Richard McCall pretty much destroyed the Ku Klux Klan. Ulysses S. Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Woodrow Wilson basically gave life to the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah.
He might have even been in the Ku Klux Klan.
Hey, so many years ago, who knows today, right? I got information on another president. This would be President Clinton. You've heard the news this week on our Bill Clinton when Virginia Roberts gave sworn testimony in the 2014 lawsuit that she brought against Ghislaine Maxwell, and she won the lawsuit, by the way, and all this got sealed, and now there are 3 tranches of information that got unsealed this week, and the media is slowly starting to report it, but the latest I can report to you is verified, clean.
NBC News 1, 2, 3. NBC and CNN.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never hear that news on there.
No. So a week ago, when this news came out, Clinton again said, "I've never even been to the island once." In 2019, when he was asked the same question, his attorney responded that in 2002 and 2003, President Clinton took a total of 4 trips on Jeffrey Epstein's airplane, but he's never been to the island. Okay, which probably you could say is true for 2002 and 2003. It doesn't discuss years before that, and it doesn't discuss years after that. It's another fucking lawyerly Clinton answer. But you know what some real smart person did, and I can't find the credit for it, but I'll track that down, is of course, when you fly on a plane, when everybody flies on a plane, there's a manifest, and all this is filed with the FAA. And so when somebody really, I guess, had lots of time on their hands, went into the files of the FAA, which you can access for freedom of information, they found that Bill Clinton had actually, there's FAA logs showing that he flew to that island 26 times. It's in the logs. For a man who said he never went once, he went 26 times, 6 times without his Secret Service envoy. So that's in the logs. There's no disputing that. That's like, okay, maybe the log got it wrong once. Maybe Clinton went once and forgot. But 26 times to say he'd never been on the island, he's been there 26 times.
Well, don't worry. Giselle will get, Hillary will take care of that.
Oh, she's suiciding at any moment, I'm sure.
Yeah, I heard about all that too. Supposedly, well, you never know too, but people have been floating around this flight list manifest, whatever, with all kinds of names on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not necessarily involvement, I would guess.
Well, the other names are not
quite a list. Quite a list.
Quite a list.
It's as big as that bomb that went off in Beirut.
Yeah, boy, wasn't that something?
How much the Clinton scandal.
Yep. Yeah, this could engulf the president as well. I mean, I mean, he, there's some questionable activity, just coincidences, or whatever, just associations. For instance, Virginia Giuffre, when she was recruited from Mar-a-Lago Hotel. That's where Ghislaine Maxwell met her for the first time and started grooming her. So, okay, at the very least, they hung out at that hotel there, which is owned by the president. So there's some, if maybe that's the only association there, maybe that's all it is, but there is that association there. There's allegations that the president did actually, but there's lots of allegations. He's done lots of stuff. But there are allegations, proven and unproven, that he took part with underage women. He did also, one of his products the Trump organization owned was the Miss Teen World competition. His modeling agency in the year 2000 hired Paris Hilton when she was 15, 16 years old and groomed her for modeling. And I can go on. And they're all coincidental. They may be innocently explained away, but I'm interested in hearing what the story is.
More criticism is probably going on in this country than anyone cares to even know about. And they just close your ears and go, la 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 la.
Yeah, just like Harvey Weinstein, just like that treatment. Tom Hanks and these people.
Look at all the child stars that end up getting fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, Corey, what's his face? The actor from Goonies. All those actors.
I guarantee you, there's a whole bunch of kids that are doing these TV shows and movies that have just been traded and used and abused like fucking
playing cards.
It just
trading cards, Topps baseball trading cards.
So you know the rumor is, don't you?
Well,
remember the girl from Poltergeist?
No, I forgot. What's that one?
Hetero War.
Uh-huh.
The girl from Poltergeist.
Why?
They're here.
Uh-huh. Yes.
She died when she was 13.
What?
And the rumor was that she died because she got sexually abused, and it's she got a colon blockage from and that Steven Spielberg was involved in covering it up.
Yeah.
And they said that Steven Spielberg is probably one of the worst pedophiles in Hollywood.
See, my tin hat, wearing my tin hat wasn't so crazy after all, see? Yeah, all the truth's going to come out, I hope. You can nail these people. Yeah, it's all unproven allegations right now.
And by the way, Steven Spielberg was on one of those flight things. It was one of the names that came out.
Oh yeah, so was Matt Groening from The Simpsons. Brian, do you remember any other names on there? Alan Dershowitz, the lawyer, who also was defending Trump a year ago in the case as well. So he plays for both teams. He so what's that association about now? Al Gore. Although I can't think having sex with Al Gore would be all that exciting.
Yeah, my son had shown me the other day one that somebody had posted of a list. It's pretty crazy. They saw a bit to it.
Stacey was so bad what he did at the island that they actually banned him.
Oh, Epstein?
Yep.
Oh, from Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, I know. Eventually, I don't remember when it was, but it might have even been the 90s or the early 2000s, was when Trump said he just couldn't let Epstein stay at the hotel anymore think it was the early 2000s. But I mean, I'm sure there's record of that because this came up in the last election. But yeah, it came up 4 years ago. There's
and I already saw Clinton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a clip 4 years ago of the president when he was still campaigning, and he was asked a question about Bill Clinton and the island. He said, "Yeah, that's not going to go down well for him when it comes out," and that's all he said. And he moved on.
Donald Trump, Ken Starr.
Ken Starr. Wow.
Yeah. Mort Zuckerman.
Yeah, don't know Mort Zuckerman. Is he a director?
There was a bunch of Hollywood types.
Yeah, he's a Hollywood type of some kind.
There was miscellaneous actresses, too.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Ellen? Is Ellen on the list? Tom Hanks? Yeah. Well, this is...
I don't think Ellen was in there.
No.
Yeah.
Well, this is just dump number one. There'll be 2 more dumps coming in the coming days or weeks or however long they'll take to release this information. So there'll be more zesty details coming out here.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's the Marxists that are behind it. They're Marxist pedophiles.
All right. Yeah, then there's several of them that, are highly suspect, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of them that just seem like that had to be questionable whether or not they were involved. I mean, obviously they were on the flights, but what the purpose was, who knows? Yeah.
Oh, of course. I mean, he was a rich and powerful man who gave to campaigns and gave money for causes, so you would expect all kinds of people would be there applying for his donation or largesse or whatever and not partaking of any orgies or and maybe turning a blind eye to it. It's I'm not sure. I'm not a lawyer, and ChabDog is. We miss him this week. Maybe he'd be able to answer that question. That if you're there and there's a felonies being committed, i.e. An underage woman's being taken advantage of in your plain sight, or even if you're averting your glaze in the room that you're in or adjacent to where you are and you know it's happening, are you legally liable? Maybe you are. I don't know. Certainly if you're doing it, you are. And so, yeah, Clinton was there 26 times. If he never touched an underage woman while he was there 26 times, then I guess he's okay. But what a scale of 1 to 100, how likely is that to be, knowing Bill Clinton? Well, maybe 1%?
Exactly.
This ain't going to happen.
Yeah,
okay, well, we're coming to the end of the ChabDog Sports Talk radio show. Any final thoughts from you guys? I'll let Tank go first. Tank, what are your parting thoughts here?
This is the year from hell. Everything sucks.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Brian, what are your parting thoughts?
Oh, gee, there's so much stuff going on, and it's gone so far out there. Sometimes I just get this frustration about where this country is going.
Mm-hmm.
But the best thing I can say is, just go out, vote, whoever you're voting for. That's your biz. But let's just do this and keep our fingers crossed and say some prayers, and we'll get past all this craziness.
Fantastic. Thank you, Brian, and thank you, Tank, and thank you all for listening to this week's ChabDog Sports Talk show. And I'm going to go out with "Smoke and Mirrors," a song by RJD2, as we're playing some contemporary music for a change, because there are some great artists out there today. And kind of fitting the words in this song, who knows what tomorrow will bring? Maybe sunshine and maybe the rain. But as for me, I'll wait and see.
That's what we'll get. More suffering, more misery.
In smoke and mirrors. Have a great time, you guys. Thanks.
All right.
this was